Hello. Did I even read the Oracle card yesterday? Maybe I did. I don't know. Hi. Ooh. Okay. The lighting is what the lighting is. I've readjusted things again, so y'all can see on my little I called it oaken obelisk and something of a bookshelf right there. There's a little water cooler, and don't ask why. And there's some other stuff. um, But I decided to do my foot tapping early today because the earlier I meditate in the day, the better my day goes. I found discovered that last June. Actually, it might have been the end of last May, somewhere in that point. Uh, I'm gonna do what I did yesterday. I have things shifted a little bit. The lighting is what it is. I'm gonna try to get this to do whatever I need it to do. And I'm going to start with the thing, and then I'm going to end with, I'm trying to get all of my life out, like right now. And the earlier I do it, the more of my day I have to work, which is better than like trying to sleep until noon-ish, then going outside, then doing some other stuff, then doing the whatever. Good morning, Lena. How are you doing today? I'm just like rambling. Well, not yet, but I'm shuffling this up. Then I'm going to go through and I guess I'm going to read my entry. I mean, I said I would. It's not extremely personal. I'm very well. Thank you for asking. I didn't sleep too much because I kept waking up again, but I'm not feeling exhausted, which is nice. What was that? The Ten of Cups. You can't even see these. You can't even see these. This is tragic. All right, the cards are more important than my face. So I don't think this will come all the way over here, though. 1 second. Almost. Oh, wait. I got to do this slowly because if I don't, water is going to get everywhere. Oh, that is stretching it. Wait, what's the difference between that and this? Oh my gosh, bear with me. I'm struggling. That might do it. More or less. These things are kind of sort of amazing. Surprised my mom just had one. Hey, it works. Okay, Ten of Cups just came out. All right, so I'm going to start by reading the thing. Excuse me, then I'm going to get into that. And then I'm going to get into these because I love this deck and I want to use it. I should have used that for the retrograde or laid it on top of the retrogrades yesterday to see how it affects us. But yesterday is past. It's 10:10 a.m. here Central. 10:10, y'all see that? Which means it's 11:11, almost Eastern, and I got my laptop on Eastern time, so I'm gonna catch them both. So this is in my like journal entries, so keep that in mind. Keep it in mind. And so a lot of this is like where's that 1111? There it is. Okay, I had to catch it. A lot of this is how I process through things. So bear with me. I'm glad I'm not in the journal section. This is just the reading section, which can be just as personal, honestly. Uh, let's see. This slide is making it a little difficult for me to read this, so I'm going to turn this off for a second. 1111. Oh, there we go. Okay. So Dreamscape. So the cards I got the Dreamscape Oracle card, which is dream work, subconscious, and imagination. Then I got the High Priest, the 10. Well, that's the Oracle card, and then I'll read the other cards as I go through them. Dreamscape signifies communication between the subconscious and conscious, expressed through dreams and channeled via creativity. It's interesting that the page, the ace, and the 10 of swords all made an appearance. My dreams have been very combative and confrontational lately. I think I remember that period of time. I was like, what is happening? Because there's no drama at the surface of my life, but it was like drama in all my dreams. I'm like, oh my gosh. Um, I'm feeling it's two lines, so I guess I can show y'all the picture. This is what it laid out as. And so there's like this line, where my finger, this line, and then that line, right? Um, so it's two lines. In the subconscious, there's the Page of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and the Ten of Swords. In the conscious line, there's the Queen of Cups reversed, the Tower reversed, and the Magician. With the present moments, being the crossover slash bleed through point. In the conscious past, I was receptive to spirit and quite attuned, but not in line with it. There was more question, doubt, and dismissal than recognition and aligned action. I'd ignore feelings and cast away or walk around those people who I could have helped in those situations that could have grown me. A queen has rule over her subjects, and the Queen of Cups does so in a very loving but still regal way. In the subconscious past, I've been trying very hard to get myself to see truth, but doing so in a way that was gentle. Oh, sorry. Drama in your dreams too. Didn't know why. Girl, sometimes I'm like, but I guess it could also be, it's like maybe there's things that we're kind of sort of wrestling with subconsciously in our reality, and so it's like the drama isn't necessarily there, but it's like that little bit of mental struggle was there because there was a little bit of stuff kind of sort of playing in the background that I wasn't really paying attention to consciously, but in my dreams it was like I feel like blown up and like blown out of proportion. And I'm like, it is not this serious, or whatever I was going through wasn't that serious, but then again, I don't know. This was June 5th, 2019. So this is almost a year ago. I've been trying very hard to get myself to see the truth, but doing so in a way that was gently and distantly supportive. I was offering breadcrumbs and flashes of insight. In the present, I can feel the lessons and reasons behind each tower moment. I have the desire to see the lessons and learn from them so I can grow and not have to repeat them. I try to interpret my reality as much as, if not more than, I do my dreams. I don't feel tower moments as tower moments. I see them as revealing truth, whether in internal one or external one. In the conscious future lies the magician, the key of gold, an inside out mastery that takes stock of every element, a harmony between the two worlds, operating at the veil, at the border between the above and below. A synchronized life in the subconscious future is me crushing it, complete and total dominion over the ego in terms of how easily it tends towards fear and negative emotion. Not the combination, I don't know. Note the combination of the owl and swords. The owl represents the swords family in the What Unknown Tarot. It shows how wisdom and deep knowledge can and will triumph over any worry or doubt I may come across. And operating in that wisdom will be the harmonizing factor that fuels the magic. And that's a point that I've actually been able to reach. thankfully, because I've been showing up in a way that I didn't necessarily think I was kind of sort of capable of in a lot of the unknown situations I've been in. But I've handled myself well. I think could have been much worse. Would have been much worse. So that's what happened on. I mean, I did like 5 because it was a really, really. I guess it was. I don't know what it was that night. I can't remember. It was super late or early, depending on. I think I'm pretty sure it was late because I was still up at 4, 5, 6 in the morning, and I did this mega reading, but I broke it up into 5 parts, and that was the second part. The first part I did yesterday, so now I'm gonna get into something similar-ish, but not completely the same. I'm only gonna do 2 today. Maybe I'll do 1. I'll do 2. I'll do the first one with the Witch's Tarot, and I'll do the second one with the Pride Tarot because I love the Pride Tarot. Um, and so it's going to be an Oracle card followed by the Tarot, and then we're just going to see how deep we can go with it for the day of today and today. Looking forward, the energy's like surrounding today. And maybe not like 6 months from now would be cool. Like if we could focus it in. See, but then we'll try it. We'll try it. Why not? Let's see what's. Okay, that was quick. This card flipped over. Is it 2 cards? Yep. Yep, 2 cards. Flipped over. Okay, I asked for 1, but sometimes more is better. Sometimes things that are more expensive are worse. Am I going to be able to read any of these with this light in my face? I'm going to show y'all first. I don't know if y'all can read these, but they're gorgeous, whatever they are. I think I've seen this one before. What is this? Inspirational. It's not inspirational creation. What is this? Oh, it is inspirational creation. Come on, I knew it. Number 24, inspirational creation is alchemy, the elements, and innovation. And then number 25, isolation, loneliness, reconnection, and home. 24 and 25. I shuffle these, y'all, I promise. That happened yesterday, too. Inspirational creation and isolation. This is giving me heavy hermit vibes, but it's like, who was it? Ralph Waldo Emerson, maybe? Or was it Henry David Thoreau? Whenever the artists back in the day, the artists and the thinkers, when the artists were the thinkers, artists are always thinkers, so I don't know why I said it like that, but I feel like that kind of sort of led a movement at that time. But they would like go into the woods, right, in a little cabin with no electricity, no power, and they would do their creative thing in isolation. It's kind of giving me those vibes. But also, alchemy, the elements, and innovation, loneliness, reconnection, and home. This is also giving me like reconciliation vibes because of the alchemy involved, and then reconnecting to home. That talks about a period of separation that led to some kind of healing alchemy. So I guess we should just go ahead and pull around temperance before I even shuffle this up. 6 of swords and a star at the bottom of the deck, followed by karma in the world and this 9 of cups, which is interesting. Very interesting. Oh, there's that full card. What is this? What card is this? The 6 of wands was face down because I forgot to turn it face up. Let's see, what's around temperance? Oh wow, the magician and the emperor. The magician, the emperor, and the hermit are all together. Look at all that masculine energy. Emperor stuck between the magician and the hermit, which is very much so this inspirational creation. If someone is thinking about how to come back, followed by the Seven of Swords and the Ace of Wands right after that. I feel like that's someone who's wanting to not prolong their happiness anymore. Okay, well, here's the Empress. So I pulled the Emperor in the middle, right? So I'll just do all four. So right after that Seven of Swords is this Knight of Pentacles, the Sun, the Empress, and the Four of Swords. And those horses are going two different directions. A dark horse and a light horse going two different directions. The Sun facing the Empress, but this is also Chariot vibes, right? Because two horses, different directions, the Chariot all day. So there's Chariot vibes with the Empress. Maybe this Empress. So where was the Emperor again? Sitting between the Magician and the Hermit. So it's like this Empress is ready to go with this underlying Chariot, but maybe it's like she's revving the engine, right? Like vroom, 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 vroom outside. Like, come on, let's go. I feel like she's not like honking her horn or anything because she doesn't want to rush this Emperor, but she's like revving the engine, like vroom, like I'm ready, I'm ready to go, but I can't. Like they're going two completely different directions. And I mean, it would be easy to say, oh, we'll follow the sun because it's major energy, but they need to be going in the same direction. And then that's what that Four of Swords is. It's like there's more to be. Well, wait. Well, the Seven of Pentacles wanted to come out with this Four of Swords, so it fits. It's like there's more to be learned in the situations. There's more to grow. There's more to do. There's more to cultivate before you begin that harvest. So open your eyes, open your heart, feel into it, and see if there's anything that you lack right now. Because once you begin to move, it's like a road trippy vibes. It's like I hope everyone went to the bathroom because we're not stopping for at least 4 hours because we got a long way to go. And they're like, 4 hours? What? I had so much water. And you're just like, oh my gosh, we'll never get there. Nine of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles. Love this energy. And right behind that is this Wheel of Fortune with the Nine of Wands. Y'all see that? What's that? The Eight of Swords? Oh no, it's the Three of Cups. Okay. 9, King, 10. 9 plus. Oh, I talked about this yesterday. Because these came out at the top, maybe, of the deck at one point. Excuse me, I should have grabbed. Oh, I got water right here. I thought I had it, and I didn't even know it. It's like this Nine of Pentacles is the Queen of Pentacles, and this is the King of Pentacles. And when they come together and get married, that's 10 Pentacles, right? The 10 of Pentacles right there. And that turns her into the Queen because she's married to this King. And it's like with this coming after the whole story about that Empress, it's like, when this thing takes off, it's really going to take off. So make sure you're Queen ready, because all this King has to do is come back and boom, you're at 10 Pentacles. You're the Queen of Pentacles. He's the King of Pentacles. You need to be Queen ready when this happens, because it's going to take off, and it's going to be a slow and steady progression. It may not. Well, the star just showed itself, so maybe it will happen overnight. Who knows? Miracles happen. Anything can happen. But it's going to be a constant progression towards that. And then we have this Three of Cups, Nine of Wands, Wheel of Fortune, Wheel of the Year. So it could be this year, right? I love saying that with this deck because it's the Wheel of the Year. But this is that reconciliation celebration. This is that person who has stood fast. Like, I love the Nine of Pentacles, or the Nine of Wands in this deck, because look how strong she is. Like, she tired who? Wounded warrior where? I got more fight in me. I could go all day. I could go all year. Don't want to have to, but I could if I had to. All right. So that Nine of Pentacles into that Nine of Wands. For sure. I'm looking for Temperance because it talked about alchemy. Ooh. 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 Oh, wow. I didn't even see that. Okay, well. Oh, here we go again. I'm never going to get through this. So at first, this is what I saw. Let me see if I can do this. This is what I saw. I saw this Hierophant, the Devil, and the Moon card. And then I was about to pull it, and I noticed that this King of Wands was actually between the Hierophant. Can't even see him. Was between the Hierophant and that Devil. There we go. And so it's like, excuse me, that King of Wands energy is going from the Devil to the Hierophant, backed by the Moon, right? Backed by maybe unspoken desires that are. So these are like deep subconscious desires that we're consciously aware of, but that we consciously suppressed. And so it's like there's this ocean, the subconscious ocean, and then there's this moon. It's a full moon, and it's shining this beam of light onto the surface of the subconscious ocean. And so it's like these unspoken desires are rising to the surface. And it's like they're traveling along the beams of moonlight. So it's almost like what do you call it when the aliens abduct like cows, like a tractor beam, right? It's almost like a tractor beam once they breach the surface of this water, and so they're traveling along the beams of moonlight, rising from subconscious to conscious, and then rising to a level where they're not going to be unexpressed for too much longer. But this person is stuck between the Hierophant and the Devil, and those are two committal energies if you think about it, which is very interesting. It's actually the High Priest in this deck. Uh, Stuck between Taurus and Capricorn. Is this a Virgo? Let me stop. That's a Leo, obviously. Is that a Leo attached to a Virgo? Let me stop. Or a Pisces. You know, the moon is right there. Well, Virgo opposes Pisces. So, hey, there we go. The opposition to this king. Anyway, let me stop. Continuing. Well, Virgo was the only element not here. Anyway, so this could be seen as a healthier, more long-lasting commitment, and this is a commitment to something toxic. But both the Devil and the Hierophant speak to committal energies, right? It's just the nature of that commitment a lot of times. Still ain't found Temperance. Ooh. Oh, hold up. How did I? Oh, wow. I'm going to mention the Tower since I talked about the Tower. There were like 3 cards like stacked on top of each other. I'm like, why does the back feel like this? Why is this so thick? So we see the Tower and the Hangman. Someone getting that call to action, maybe getting a little closer to that Hierophant, closer to the Hierophant, farther from the Devil, closer to the surface so it can be brought to the light. And then I was like, what else is that? I was like, the Four of Wands. What? And then I was like, well, it's still kind of thick. And it's the Lovers. There you go. Now you can see them. The Tower, the Hangman, the Four of Wands, and the Lovers. It's like, I can't sit on this any longer. I gotta move. And Uranus is in Taurus right now. I kind of feel the Tower as Uranian energy. But it may also be Mars, I believe, traditionally. Still looking for that Temperance card. Since we're talking about alchemy. Since we're talking alchemy. Since we're talking about alchemy. Alchemy. You remember how I told you about that Empress? Well, here we have the Eight of Wands, the Chariot, Light Horse and Dark Horse going in 2 different directions. They're more like, they're not completely opposite directions in this card, which is better. And then we have the Strength card. So maybe her having the strength to hold her horses, even though she wants to just take off. Is if you do anything, haste makes waste, right? Doing anything out of its season, out of its time, plucking a fruit before it's ripe means it's not ready. And we don't want to do that. Ain't got time for that. Oh, finally, goodness. Okay, yes, sir. I feel like I don't even have to pull any more cards because I just read both of these together. Um, but I will, I guess. Um, so I found Temperance between the King of Cups and the Nine of Cups. Here's the Queen of Cups sitting at the nine before she becomes the queen, right? In a lot of decks, the nines are represented by females, and a lot of times it's the queen. Um, Maybe before she becomes the queen, maybe it's a different side of the queen, right? But there's the queen, there's the king, and again, right? We have the nine of pentacles with the king of pentacles. Now we have the nine of cups coming out with the king of cups, but this element of temperance, alchemy, healing, balance, maybe patience and waiting in between them, which is very interesting. But if this ain't somebody else, this is you. Okay, now let's see what this inspirational information and isolation are about. I'm gonna give this quite a few shuffles because I've just run through basically this whole deck. I kind of wanted to do a video where I just run through the whole deck because I basically do it every time I do something like this anyway. But I was like, nah, I don't know how I would do it. Sometimes you just gotta do it. I'm gonna give myself until Forever time. Nine of Swords just came out. Nine of Swords was like, I'm the only nine you didn't talk about. So here I am. Bottom of the deck is the devil, the shadow side. So, I mean, what's under the shadow side? The Four of Swords, followed by the Eight of Wands. So it's like somebody wants to get out of that shadow, but they're kind of stuck in it. But I feel like the divine is calling you to move, but someone isn't quite yet ready to move. And I usually feel this Four of Swords as someone who's apprehensive to lay her sword down. Not that that's going to make this any better, but I usually feel her as someone who's apprehensive to lay her sword down, someone who's being told to rest, but who doesn't yet want to rest. Maybe someone who isn't quite sure yet that the war is over. But this time, it's like she don't want to go. She's like, "Are you sure? Are you absolutely positive? Like, what if now isn't the right time? What if the right time is in like 25 years from now? It's like 25 years from now. 25 years? Like 25, like how many years? Like ant years? Like mayfly years? Like, you know, but yeah, sometimes the best way out of your head is just to jump. Is just to take that leap. And I had to do a lot of leaping last year. And I was like, I would be put in these situations and I'd be like, this sounds like a really, like I read in the thing, right? A lot of times I would be given these opportunities that I wouldn't take. And that was one of the things that I knew I needed to change. And so I actually got an opportunity at the end of the summer, I believe. It was during Ramadan. So maybe it wasn't during the summer. Maybe it was. Maybe it was. Maybe. Yeah, it was definitely in the summer. It was early summer because by mid to late summer, um, I was, I was, I was. Things would have went differently. I'll just say things would have went differently if it happened after like July. So yeah. Hold on, wait. Because I remember maybe not. It had to be because things would have went down differently. I know they would have went down differently because of what happened. Anyway, it doesn't matter when. But there was this thing I got invited to, and I knew it would be an amazing opportunity. And I was like, yes, I should do this. I should go. It feels like what I'm supposed to do. And so I told my friend, yeah, I would go. And he was like, really? I thought you'd say no because usually you say no to stuff like this. And I was like, yeah, I know, right? I'm a whole new person. Who am I? I don't know. That was my question of 2019. Honestly, it was like, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Because I was so far outside of my norm and what I usually do. I was like, I don't even know who I am, but I'm doing it and it feels pretty good. But right before I was supposed to go, this wave of anxiety crept in And I was like, oh, maybe it's a bad idea. Maybe I shouldn't go. Maybe something's going to go wrong. And I was like, oh, if I'm getting this, if my intuition is telling me that something's going to go wrong, I should listen to it because that probably means something's going to go wrong. And I was about to be like, hey, no. But then I was like, wait, hold up. Is this my intuition or is this my anxiety speaking right now? And I had to take a second. I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I thought about it and I was like, okay, so fact number one, you were really excited about this and you knew it was something that you were supposed to do. Fact number two, you were fine with it up until it's almost time to leave. Fact number three, your line of thinking right now is like, who am I going to sit by? I don't know anybody there. Who am I going to talk to? What if somebody tries to talk to me that I don't want to talk to? If I go to this thing, I'm not going to be able to leave when I want to leave. And I don't want to be stuck in a situation that I don't want to be in. And I'm like, okay, so that line of thinking sounds more along the lines of anxiety and not like that's the fear of the actual situation. So it's not intuition. That's not discernment. That's the old part of you coming up to try to sabotage you out of this opportunity. And now you have this opportunity to do it anyway. And it was one of my first opportunities to do it anyway. Yeah, it was definitely before the school year started because then I got invited to the men's leadership series and I encountered the same thing. But the second time I was like, hey, Patrick, remember when you went to that one thing that you knew you were supposed to? And I guess I do have anxiety sometimes. And your anxiety told you that like you shouldn't go to it. And I was like, yeah, I remember. And remember how good that experience was and how grateful you were that you actually went. And I was like, yeah, I was pretty grateful. Okay, it's time to make that choice again. That's your anxiety speaking. That's not your intuition. That's not your discernment. That's just your brain trying to psych you out of taking this. Your brain, your shadow, whatever, right? The part of you that's more interested in keeping you in that space of fear and worry and anxiety. Like I said at the end of the entry, right? It's time to defeat the ego and my ego in terms of not giving in to fear and worry and anxiety so much. I can't remember why I'm bringing that up. Yeah, because sometimes the best way to get out of your head is just to take that leap, is just to do it anyway. Because if you keep going back and forth in your mind, that conversation will never end. It'll never end. So the best course of action is to analyze it and be like, okay, is this anxiety brain or is this like actual intuition brain right now? Is this ego brain trying to talk to me like it's intuition? Or is this intuition brain talking to me like it's intuition? Because sometimes ego brain will whisper just like your intuition will. And you'll think, ooh, justice. Okay, you got to balance that out yourself. There are merits to both sides, and you can feel when it's, ooh, Knight of Cups. Ooh, okay, all right. Well, what's at the top of the deck then? Ooh, the Three of Wands. Okay, all right. I like that. Um, but yeah, it's like, are you going to hold yourself back? Or are you going to listen to spirit and pursue those opportunities? Because it's like, if you're talking about double energy, if you're talking about spirit, there are good spirits and bad spirits, right? And bad spirits can come in ways that are very similar to good spirits, and bad spirit can sound like good spirit. Excuse me, especially when it preys on our anxieties and when it preys on weaknesses that we already have. It can be very easy to get you to fall off the path. And that's where true comes in, and discernment outside of you wanting to give into your anxiety whenever your anxiety tells you that something is bad. And then you're like, oh yeah, that's bad. My intuition is, my gut is telling me that's bad. It's like, no, that's not your gut. That's not your intuition. That's your anxiety. That's your fear. It's your worry. Okay. All of that aside, the Nine of Swords was the only nine I didn't talk about, and I guess she wanted to come out. I don't know where that King of Swords is to give her the Ten of Swords, but I don't know if she too much want Ten of Swords. Maybe she do. I don't know. I wouldn't. Okay. Inspirational creation and isolation. What's this about? I want to wrap this up so I can get to the dump part of the video. I guess I'm semi-dumping as I go along, right? This is dump day 2. I think I'm going to do this for 4 more days. I was going to do 5 days. Oh yeah, yeah, 5 days. I was like, it'll be 6 days in total instead of seven because I have 5 mega readings, and then I want to also. I'm going to be doing my foot soaking meditation for at least a week, and I'm going to do it as soon as I get up in the morning. So I get my little foot soaking tub ready, put my little socks in, I do my little thing. I take at least a minute, check in with myself to see if I need more time. And if I don't, I go in. Okay, there we go. That's a whole bunch of cards, but I will take them. Bottom of the deck is Le Moon, which is what we were talking about, right? Things bubbling up from the subconscious, traveling along moonlight. Here's the traveling card. Things riding on the moonlight, coming to the surface. It's like, boom. It's like riding the moonlight. It's like the ocean is your subconscious, and the moon is your conscious. And there are these feelings, we'll call them, along the moonlight. And it's like they're trying to, it's like a fly that's like buzzing at the window, right? It's like it's trying to cross the boundary, the solid outer surface of the moon. And so it's like it's like pushing up against it, and then it backs up a little bit, and it just like rams right through. And so the conscious is like shattered at the point of impact, right? And it's like you're not going to be able to ignore this for much longer. This could also be speaking of Jupiter retrograde, because Jupiter retrograde came out with the moon yesterday, and Jupiter, I guess, at least as far as the cards are concerned, is going to be picking up a whole bunch of that unconscious stuff and expanding it to the point where everybody can see it, maybe. So depending on what your subconscious look like, it could get ugly. Uh, yeah, okay. I'm just going to check and see if it's retrograde yet. I know within the next few hours, it's supposed to be retrograde, I'm sure. But it wasn't when I woke up this morning. Yeah, Jupiter is retrograde. Jupiter is retrograde. Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, all retrograde. I don't know if y'all can see that. Jupiter, Pluto, Capricorn, Saturn, and Aquarius, all retrograde. I checked it when I woke up this morning, and it wasn't retrograde. But it is now. So, happy official retrograde season. All of the planets have arrived. And yeah, hopefully you've been. I feel like a lot of the subconscious stuff that Jupiter might expand on may also be ways in which because Capricorn is all about building towards something, right? And so Jupiter may be expanding on the feelings of like, are we actually getting closer to what we want, or are we getting further from it? As well as all of that subconscious stuff I was talking about, right? But maybe that subconscious stuff is in alignment with, are we actually going in the way that we want, or are we getting further from it? That's the question that Jupiter is asking us. Six of Swords, sailing away. And then we got this, oh my gosh. Whew. Okay. This is a lot. Somebody trying to come home for real. All right, so we got the Six of Swords into this Ace of Cups. I want to put it this way because, call me biased, Six of Swords into the Ace of Cups, right? Sailing towards that Ace of Cups, leaving everything behind. And it's like, again, if you're stuck at that Nine of Swords seat, trying to get over the Three of Swords heartbreak to reach this Six of Swords movement, sometimes you have to focus more on what's in front of you than you do on what you're leaving behind. And it's not to disregard what you're leaving behind. But again, it's like you're leaving this, and maybe that's another thing that makes it so difficult, right? It's because with the King of Wands sitting in between the Devil and the Hierophant, it's like you're leaving one commitment for another. And so this person, that King of Wands, who is the King of Wands, might be like, okay, well, what if I wanted to go and like, take off my ring and be a little Prince of Wands again? What if I want to be a little Knight of Wands and go and have some fun before I jump into another commitment? Like, but this big old Ace of Cups is right here, and it's like, okay, well, What do you want more? And it's not to say like I said, like the devil is one type of commitment and the Hierophant is a completely different type of commitment. And there are different ways to have fun. Like maybe you're having fun, it's going out, hooking up with people, partying, not having to worry about whatever. It's drinking all night, waking up at whatever time, and not having to worry about somebody else right there, or not having to worry about how somebody else feels, right? Also, there may be some ways to have some fun in this. I don't know. Ace of Cups is right here. You're sailing towards it. Coming out after the Ace of Cups, girl. I'm gonna put these on top since you already saw the ones on the bottom. It's that Ten of Pentacles. And that's why I was like, what? Are we going from the Ace of Cups to the Ten of Pennies? Yes, I love this. After that Ten of Pentacles is this Page of Pentacles. And I feel like the Page of Pentacles is a reminder that, like, this is what you're moving towards. Right here. This is what you're moving towards, but this is where it actually starts. Like, this is closer to the end game, right? And so, like, don't it's almost the energy of don't get ahead of yourself, but it's like don't freak out or worry too much about that Ten of Pentacles in the end game because you're starting at the page and you're building it. So at the same time, it's like, don't worry about because it's like whenever you have an opportunity to build it from the ground up, you can build it perfectly tailor made to your situation. And so if you get caught too much in the end game, then I feel like it's easier for that anxiety mind to come in and take another avenue to sort of like this pincer attack to back you against the corner. Where it's like not only are you like having anxiety about whatever you already have anxiety about, but now you're coming in like looking at this Ten of Pentacles and you're like, Pentacles ready. Like I'm not the person who I'm gonna be at the end of my life. I can't. But like, and this Page of Pentacles is like no one is asking you to be like you ain't coming in and signing no contracts, right? It's like this is the beginning. This is the start. This is 11 Pentacles, and 11 is a number of awakenings, right? It's a number of two is a dualistic number, but it's a two in the sense of two ones, right? Which is kind of sort of, I guess I'm feeling it like an individual spark of consciousness, right? It's like the beginning though. It's the spark of consciousness before it becomes the flame that is your soul, right? The fire. It's the spark. And so this is the spark that will lead to something greater. It's an awakening. It's a recognition of two individuals who then become this greater whole in the two, right? But it's the two is the ones. And so 1 + 1 is 2. 1 + 2. 1 + 1 is 2. +1 is 3. +1 is 4. +1 is 5. +1 is 6. +1 is 7. +1 is 8. +1 is 9. +1 is 10. Like, you ain't got to freak out. We're doing this one at a time. Maybe we can skip a few pennies here and there, but ain't nobody asking you to be 10 ready at the jump because I don't think anybody would be 10 ready at the jump, right? Not even the people or persons that you idolize and idealize. Like they're not 10 ready at the jump either. Like, hello? Who is 10 ready at the jump? And then that's followed by this Queen of Pentacles. Pentacles, why do I do that? Followed by this Queen of Cups. Someone who is very, and look, she's looking back on all of that. She's sipping her tea. She like, hold on, wait. Oh, I should have made some tea. I'm gonna fill up my mug with some water. She just like, yeah, I knew you would be coming back. The Queen is the most intuitive card outside of the High Priestess. The Queen is the minor High Priestess on when it comes to intuition. So, she looking back on all of that. He's sailing towards her. She looking back on him. And then we're ending it with this Magician. Well, it's a 7 of Cups, but it's depicted as a sorcerer. And instead of this being options and illusion, I'm feeling it's more of that like this 10 of, where is it? Here it is. This 10 of Pentacles, but also in ways that are like emotionally fulfilling and spiritually led. So maybe that's more of the inspirational creation side of it. And then I'm gonna cut this and I'm gonna pull top, middle, and bottom to get the isolation side. I can move on, right? So Seven of Pentacles, something that someone knows that they want to work on at the conscious forefront. In between is this King of Wands. So maybe that's the person in the boat. At the bottom of the deck is that Nine of Pentacles. So we see the Nine of Pentacles with another king. This time it ain't the King of Pentacles. Nope, and the Death card is right here. I was like, well, maybe the King of Pentacles is still behind her. The King of Pentacles is now this King of Wands. He's gone through a transformation. And maybe this is a transformation that took time because the Seven of Pentacles is out here. But the Seven of Pentacles speaks to cultivation, right? Speaks to the Seven of Pentacles can be a minor temperance card when it comes to patience. I don't, some people, it can also sometimes be a minor hangman if it's stuck. But I'm feeling more minor temperance, patience. It's more patience than stuck. Needing to take a step back, take stock. Because it's almost this energy of like, plants don't hibernate, but it's almost this energy of like, it's like I want to, it's more like a pet than a plant, which is interesting. But there's this energy of like, I want to make sure you have enough, you're going to have enough sunlight and enough water, and that the soil is nutrient rich enough that, you know, I can take a step back from the garden for a few days to a month and I'll come back and the plants aren't dead, right? So it's like, okay, I got the sprinkler systems I had the sprinkler systems pre-programmed to go off at a certain time. I check the weather to make sure it's not going to be extremely cloudy in those days. The soil is good. I put down fresh fertilizer just in case I'm gone for longer because I'm going to need to pull my attention away from this for a second. And I don't want this to die while my attention somewhere else. But I have to do this to go through this transformation to unite, heal, and integrate. Oh my gosh. Oof, I hate when I do that. To unite, heal, and integrate this other aspect of me. Like I've already got the King of Pentacles down. If I don't have the money, I have the drive to get the money, and the money is coming, right? I have put things in place to get that money. But now it's time for me to go and tackle this King of, Wands aspect of myself. And so at the same time, this person, whoever's in the boat, may feel that they're doing more transformation than this person. Well, okay, maybe not. I was going to say they may feel like they're doing more transformation than this person because this other person is still the Nine of Pentacles. And now they're the King of Wands. They've made it to a whole other suit. They've leveled up. They've done the work. It's like, okay, I got the King of Pennies, check. King of Wands, check. We've seen the King of Cups, check. That came out with the Nine of Cups. But the Nine of Cups, again, was already there when the King of Cups was on coming through that temperance healing. The other person was already at the Nine of Cups. You see this person at the Nine of Pentacles now. We've seen the Nine of Wands that came out right behind whatever else. So it's like, I feel like this other person may have been prepared in ways that this king didn't quite think. And now maybe the king is like, well, I'm a full blown king and you sitting at the nines and I need a queen. But I don't want to say like the king has authority and power. I guess I'm putting all these back. I'm not putting these back. These will stand on the table. It's like the king has the authority and the power to elevate the situation. Oh, well, there's the emperor and temperance and the Eight of Wands with the Ten of Wands behind it. But there's the emperor, temperance, and the Eight of Wands. So it's like we were waiting on you, emperor. And as soon as you come in, that's when things can really get started. Like I said, it's like the union between the king and the queen in the nine puts her in queen status. And it's not that she needs him to be a queen, but it's something about him being in his power and them being together that really pushes her at that level, right? Because it's almost like she's been at the precipice of this for a long time, right? And it's almost like if she would have went into queen status before he was ready to be a king, then the dynamics would have been unbalanced or too far unbalanced, right? Because like being a king is great. Why do I keep trying to put these in the deck? I just mixed them all up. Being a king is great, but the queen carries that creative influence, right? So it's like you can be king all day long, but as soon as the queen comes into power, the empress comes online and the manifestation goes wild. It goes crazy because that's the spark that she holds. You hold the authority, you hold the power, you hold the structure, you hold the regime and the regiment, but it's like he holds the vessel, but she holds the soul, right? Because she's the fire that makes it come to life and that then draws and attracts everything to it. And so we need to make sure we have a solid vessel that can contain this spark and that is capable of expanding as everything else expands. Because if not, it's going to crack, it's going to break. And then it's like the fire is going to, I don't know. But we've seen all of the nines. We've seen all of the nines. We've seen them. He ain't necessarily seen them, but we've seen them. He's seen the nine of pennies and the nine of cups. He ain't seen the nine of swords and he ain't seen the nine of wands. So, hey, just because you ain't see it, don't mean it ain't go down. Let me stop. But yeah, it's interesting. But that's that isolation. Um, Someone who's been going through their transformation again, and it was like, with that being right there before it, it's like the separation needed to happen for people to, level up on the outside. If this isn't somebody else in your life, and this is more you, then this could be the two aspects of you, right? This could be you doing enough shadow healing and shadow integration to get your ego to the point where it's ready to cooperate, right? And then your ego would be playing the role of this masculine, and your more conscious light self would be playing the role of the feminine, which may sound a little backwards, but it isn't. Or take it as it resonates. Flip it for you if it needs to be flipped. But they need to be on the same page regardless. You need to be on the same page with you before you can be on the same page with somebody else. Because when you're on the same page with you, it makes you more sturdy and stable and able to tackle or handle anything that comes your way, including this person if they want to try to come sideways. It ain't even about coming sideways, but we all got stuff that we going through that we deal with. We all healing and learning and growing. All right, we're gonna get one more. Then I may actually end this. Finish up my meditation. I'm listening to meditation. Peaceful meditation. It's a peaceful meditation playlist on Spotify. I tried to listen to this other meditation playlist. I'm like, they doing too much. It was too dynamic. I'm like, I need more chill. Okay. Ooh, I think we saw this yesterday. Reflective Truth. Maybe it just came out and I didn't actually read it, but Reflective Truth came out. Bottom of the deck is forgiveness. Again, forgiveness is, there it is. Redemption, rebirth, and regeneration. So reflective truth with redemption, rebirth, and regeneration sitting at the bottom of the deck. I'm going to be grabbing the Pride Tarot for this. Did I read the things for reflective truth? I don't think I did. It's number 31, which is a 4. It says, what? Identity, self-love, and acceptance, which is everything I was literally just saying. So maybe this is more of I don't necessarily have a person in my life and I'm doing this on my own side of things, where, they're both interchangeable because as within, so without, right? And it's reflective truth. So the state of you reflects the state of the outside, which was what I was talking about in the entry. And I was like, I'm beginning to analyze my reality just as much as I'm analyzing my dreams, if not more, because your reality says a lot about your mental state and the goings on behind the scenes, just like your dreams do. It's just easier for us to recognize in our dreams that it's all us because it's our dreams, right? But on the outside, it's like, oh, we can point at this person and we can point at that person and we can point at 25 other people and never quite look at ourselves. All right. I'm going to give this 3 shuffles. Oh, wow. I'm glad. Oof. Come on. I'm not trying to bend these cards. Please. Don't bend. Don't bend. I don't even know what I would have to dump about today besides this. So show me this reflective truth. Top, middle, bottom, and 4. Top, middle, bottom, and 3. Top, middle, bottom, and 2. Top, middle, bottom, and 1 more. Oh, okay. Well, then we'll top, middle, bottom. Oh, of course. So the top card is the 3 of Wands. I've seen the 3 of Wands in this deck so much. I feel like every time I pull this deck out, I see the 3 of Wands. For the middle, I'm going to pull this card. Is that the 10 of Wands? Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Yeah, that's the 10 of Wands. We got 13 Wands right now, y'all. Bottom of the deck is the Page of Wands. It's the Page of Wands. We got 14 Wands. Ooh, this is so fiery. This is so fiery, desirey. The cards that just fell out is the Queen of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. So there's that Queen of Pentacles for the folks who didn't believe that the 9 was the Queen. Here she is to clarify and confirm. Yes, I am indeed the Queen of Pennies. Just because you don't see it, don't mean it ain't there. It's just waiting to unlock. That's a lot of Wands. So we go from the 3 of Wands at the top of the deck with the Page of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So sandwiching that whole thing, the whole deck, the whole realm of whatever this is the 4 of Wands, which is a cause for celebration. But with the 3 and the 1, it's long awaited. This is like a delayed satisfaction instead of an instant gratification, right? It's almost like a slow burn. It's like we've been near boiling with the 3 for a long time. And this page is someone who's finally gonna like just take that step forward and be like, hey, I'm at 3 Wands, you at 3 Wands. Let's consolidate, make this 4, come together. But with that 10 of Wands sitting in between them, that's a whole cycle that they have to complete before they even come together. And so that could have been on one side, you have one person at the 3 of Wands who's more so like wishing and hoping and waiting for this thing to happen. Maybe not necessarily doing anything to make it happen, but really wanting it and trying to manifest it and waiting for that ship. And then you have the Page of Wands, who's a very nomadic energy in this deck. And then you have this Page of Wands who's like, it's like surveying the land, right? And so it's like he has this wand. I love the Page of Wands in this deck because that wand is literally a tree. And all he has to do is plant it and it'll begin to grow, right? There's a very earthy energy about the Page of Wands in this deck. To me. And then sometimes, well, I don't necessarily get a fiery energy, but we got the Page of Pentacles right here. The Page of Pentacles with this Queen of Pentacles. So maybe this is supposed to be for the folks who ain't necessarily got nobody. But maybe this is you potentially beginning to realize that the way your life goes may be reflective of the state that you're in, right? It's like whenever you are in a rough patch of life and it's this thing, they're interconnected and nearly inseparable. Nearly, but if you get good, you can separate the two and then things get better. But it's like, of course, when things are going wrong in my life, I'm going to be in a worse state of mind. Like, who's going to be happy when things are falling apart? But when you slip into a worse state of mind, it puts you in a mind state to think about the worst, to focus on the worst, to not be able to appreciate what you have. You completely slip out of appreciation and gratitude, and you just looking at worst case scenarios all over the place. And so worse and worse happens. And regardless of if worse is actually happening or not, like if you take all of the manifestation, all the spiritual woo 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 out of it, it's like when you're in a positive state of mind, you look for the positive things. When you're in a negative state of mind, you tend to focus on the negative, right? Like if you're having a bad day and something bad happens to you and you go and complain to somebody and they're like, hey, well, at least you woke up today. At least you're in good health. At least you had a car to come to work. At least you have a job. And you're like, yeah, whatever. I don't care about that. Like, I'm trying to vent about my day. Like, that stuff is trivial, right? Exactly that. And it keeps you looking at the worst. So even if you have something good in your life, even if you have something worth appreciating, you probably won't appreciate it because you're focusing on the bad to fuel the bad, to keep yourself stuck in a state of bad. And I feel like that's sort of the relationship between the queen and the page, right? Because the king and the knight would have a relationship, the queen and the page have a relationship. Um, And so it's like the state that you're in is what the universe offers you, is what becomes your reality. And so it seems and may feel like there's a lag period. I'm just going to let my voice go. I'm not even going to clear it. Oh, you're going to clear yourself? Okay, good, great, because I wasn't going to do it. um, but it's like, it seems like whenever we switch over to the good, there's a bit of delay. And it's like, I've been doing my affirmations. I've been doing this. I've been thinking positively. Where's my money? Where is my money? Where's my winning lottery ticket? Where's my new car? Where's the man or the woman of my dreams? Like, where is this reality that y'all are telling me to build and to affirm and to manifest? I don't see it. I don't feel it. Like, what's happening? And it's maybe to get out of that state of mind because things have momentum. Things carry weight. And things with weight have more momentum if they move at an equal speed, right? Because momentum is mass times acceleration, I believe. I believe, girl, my physics is rusty. I ain't done physics in a minute, but I believe momentum is mass times acceleration. And so if you have something heavier and something lighter and they have the same momentum, the lighter thing is moving faster and the heavier thing is moving slower to balance it out. But if everything comes at the same speed, the heavier it is, the more momentum it's going to have, right? Because it has a heavier mass and it's moving at the same speed. That's like, if you get hit with a rock moving at, I don't know, 10, 10 miles per hour. No. If you get hit, if someone throws a rock at you and the velocity at which they throw that rock hits you, like if a car was moving at you at the same speed as fast as somebody can throw a rock, right? Let's talk about baseball. You know how fast some of them pitchers be throwing baseballs? Imagine they were throwing trucks. You think the umpire would be able to catch a truck moving that fast? Like, no. And so it's to realize that, like, and a lot of times whenever we switch over, we have such heavy things built up and we have heavy things queued up in the line coming in. They're coming in because we're constantly focused on it. So they're constantly coming in. And then whenever we switch over, we start with like breadcrumbs and bite-sized pieces. It's like we're throwing rocks and baseballs trying to stop semi trucks. So if you don't get that immediate response and that immediate feedback, it's like, take a second to realize the state that you were actually in, maybe. And it's not that things can't happen overnight, but it's like, how much are you giving this and how much were you giving that? Are they comparable? Are you trying to stop a runaway train with, loose pillows and mattresses? Or like, what are you trying to stop this train with? You know what I mean? You can't just set some pillows and a mattress on the track and hope it's going to stop the train. That's not how that works. Uh, so that's the physical side of this. But on the more desiring side of this. And again, let's take the two people out of it. So forget the whole one person's at the three, the other person's at the page, and they're coming and they're like, they got both got to have this journey to come together. Let's forget that whole story. Uh, but this is like the stuff that you're wishing for, the stuff that you're wanting, and then the things that you're actually willing to do, right? And there's this disconnect, there's this 10 of wands barrier and blockage between the two. It's like, okay, you want this and you want that, and you want your life to completely be changed, but you're not willing to do anything to make that the case. Like, how are you going to get to 4 of wands if you got like you're not you got to get the 4th wand. You can't just sit there and wait for the 4th wand, right? And so you got to cross this, you got to go on this whole journey to get through 10 ones. Maybe you got to realize that some of the stuff on your back holding you down ain't even your burdens, ain't even your baggage. And you got to drop it. Maybe some people are weighing you down. You got to drop them. Or at least you have to not allow their dependence and their reliance on you to hold you down and hold you back from pursuing what it is that you actually want to pursue, right? If we take a little bit of a step back, if we reel it in a little bit, you know what I mean? So we can recast the line. If you want to recast the line, sometimes you got to reel it in first, right? So reel it in, and then we'll recast it. Fishing now, I guess. Only fishing I do is on Animal Crossing and Monster Hunter. Sometimes. Um, what was I talking about? Where was I going? Yeah. Now, if you've had a breakthrough like awakening to the like 10th power, you could go, I got 3 wands and you're asking me to cross all 10 wands. See, this is there are some people, we'll give you 2 lines of thinking. There are people who work harder and there are people who work smarter. So it's like, I'm at this 3 of wands and you're asking me to go through all 10 of those wands just to claim 1 more to get to the 4 of wands celebration. And I'm only going to be a page of wands at the end of it. Like, what? Are you serious? That's a lot of work to be a page of wands. Forget the 4 of wands celebration. I'm not doing all that to be a page, really. But then there are some folks who'll be like, I got 3 wands and you're asking me to cross over 10 wands to get this 1 wand at the page of wands. That's a lot of work, but I could just snatch one of these wands from the 10 of wands and make off with 4 wands right there. Why I got to go through all 10 to claim 1 more when I can just take one of the ones right here, right? And some people may say, "Oh, that's lazy." That's why I say some people work harder, some people work smarter. But a lot of that to still actually claim that 4 wands, a lot of that is probably more this reflective truth, right? So that's reflecting on the past more, taking a moment, taking a moment of pause to stop, breathe, maybe meditate, maybe do a little bit of foot soaking yourself, maybe listen to some meditation music and do whatever. I know sometimes I'll put on something and play a video game that I don't have to pay attention to, or I'll do like origami, or I'll like crochet, right? Because if I'm crocheting something I already know how to crochet, then it's like my mind can wander and I don't have to focus on doing that, and then it's like you slip into something where it's like a meditative-ish type state. But it's not like your mind wandering to the worst things, but it's like exploring your mind in a similar way to meditation. Like, for me personally, it doesn't necessarily substitute a full-blown meditation all the time. But if I'm like balanced and centered enough, I don't necessarily need a full-blown meditation like all the time or every day. I can just I don't really have to do anything. Now I can just like slip into it. Or it just like comes to my mind because I have it. It's like I'm running the programs and the process in the back. And whenever there's something of note, it's like, oh, here, we got this for you. Right. But anyway, it's like if you take a moment of pause to reflect back, you can incorporate lessons from where you've already been And then instead of going through all 10 of those ones, you can take the ace from that with everything you've learned and then begin manifesting from there, right? You can begin manifesting more consciously because you're always manifesting. The law of attraction is always working. That's why it's a law, right? The laws of physics are always working. It's not like, oh, once you understand the laws of physics, now you must abide by them. Just like the law. If you break a law that you don't know is a law, you're still held responsible and accountable for breaking the law. It's not like, oh, I didn't know that was a law. It's like, it doesn't matter if you knew it or not. You broke it and you got to pay, right? You break, you buy. Um, but yeah, it's like it's always working. It's just not working in your favor. And just because it's not working in your favor doesn't mean it's not working. It's doing what it was intended to do. Sometimes the intentions behind some of the laws reveal other things that need to be addressed, but the law is the law, right? And so you're learning to work with it in a way that you're more consciously aware of, where you're getting things that you actually want, basically, right? I wish I could just foot soak all day and work, but I'm afraid that because I'm about to do some schoolwork after this, I'm afraid my feet will be like super pruny. Maybe it'll be fine. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, I'm sorry. Um, but it's you being more conscious and cognizant of that, and you don't always have to go all the way. It's like it's a reflective truth, right? So it's like you can start here and incorporate everything moving forward fresh, or you can start here, look back on where you've been, and then transfer further down the line, right? It's just like when you transfer between schools, when the credits, okay, we'll give you these credits for those classes you've taken, and these credits for that, and you've done this, so we'll give you credits for this, right? You can like skip ahead by looking behind. And that way, that's how you take like one out of the 10 ones instead of taking, or you could take 3 ones out of the 10 ones and get that 6 of wands victory. You can stop wherever you want, excuse me, and then move forward, right? But that's the route that requires a person to be more accepting and in touch with everything. Because when you take that approach, you can't blame people in the past. You can't hold things like that from the past, because if you can't look at the situations for what they were, then you're going to have to manifest new situation to show it to you again. And if you still don't learn it, you manifest new and new and new and more and more and more. And eventually you reach the point where all the people that you complain to are like, hey, it can't be 25, 35, 45 other people and you not have any responsibility in this. It may be time to look and see how you're playing into this. And maybe you'll need 50 more people after that before you're ready to listen to your friend. You know what I mean? That's why some people got to go through all 10, and some people can just claim the one. It's like, I'm at the 3, I'll take the 1 to get the 4. Thanks. Actually, I'll take 2 more and I'll get the 6. And you can keep the remaining whatever ones. And then from this 6, I'm going to start my page journey. And I'm going to pick up this ace from the 6. And then I'll become a king or a queen or whatever, right? How long is this? Oh, it ain't even been an hour and a half yet. I'm gonna do closing messages. That's everything I have for this. Hold on. I'm gonna spread these back out and take a picture so I can use it as a thumbnail. It's gonna be a wooden background today, y'all. I'm sorry, not really, but I'm sorry because I'm using something else, because I have a huge tub under my feet right now, or under this thing right now that I'm soaking my feet in, and the smaller thing doesn't fit with this. I don't want nobody messing with me in these streets. I don't want nobody messing with me in these streets. I don't know why that just came to my mind. I don't want nobody messing with me in these streets. Cause ain't nobody got time for that. Emily! Girl, you been on my mind. You been on my mind. You been on my mind. You've been on my mind. Oh, darn it. That was almost decent. You've been on my mind. I can't really get up, so come on. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm sorry. Ugh. Oh well, y'all should be used to it by now. All these little random breaks and pauses I take during the video. Can't you see we're recording? So rude. This picture is gonna be what it's gonna be. Oh, that's decent. Okay, work. Nice. So I'm gonna put these away. I'm gonna get final messages. I don't think I have anything to dump about right now. Dumping is more so of an end of the day activity, but I'm meditating at the beginning of the day and doing my foot tapping at the top instead of at the bottom. So hey, it's fine. I will do a little bit of this versus that actually. What time is it? It's 12:21. It's 11:21. I'll give myself 40 minutes because then at noon I can start. Hopefully, I'll work until at least like 8. Give me a good 8 hours of work um, to really get this thing moving. So, oh, I'm starting to get hungry. I don't know if y'all have ever, like, one of my ascension symptoms. Sometimes, whenever I come upon something new, and especially if it's like a breakthrough, um, and it was typically so one of the things that I fell into a lot, like sloth. Excuse me, sloth is one of my. I don't really struggle with gluttony too much anymore. I've actually dropped like 50 pounds randomly, surprisingly, somehow. Um, and I mean, over the course of the last year and a half, so it's not like dramatic, right? Because I'd say at least since the top of 2019. And then in February, I got on the scale and I had dropped like 30. And okay, it was like 20 something. No. Yeah, it was like 30. And then I just got on the scale the other day and I've dropped like 13 more. So that's like 43. It ain't a full 20 yet, but or full 50 yet. But I was like, wow, I've dropped that many pounds since I've been home. I don't necessarily understand what's happening, but I guess my diet has changed and some other things have changed. So I'm not surprised. And I didn't even try to change my diet. My diet just like changed itself. Um, Ascension will do it to you. And the things that my body allows me to do now are not the things that my body allowed me to do in the past. And there was a moment of frustration when I loosened the demon of gluttony from my life. And I say it like that because like it was like a year ago when I started eating better. And I was like, what? I don't hate the taste of vegetables anymore? When did that happen? Who am I? I actually like being outside and physical activity. Who am I? What's happening? Me enjoying being outside? Me outside for hours? Who am I? What? Wisdom. Okay, give me one more message, please. I don't know why, but just pull one. Okay. Y'all see this? My eyes are closed. Do I want this one or this one? I'll take the one in the middle. What is this? Is it a good one, y'all? Is it a good one? Dreamscape. That's the card I was talking about today. There's wisdom in dreams. There's also wisdom hidden in your reality. If you think about your reality as if it were a dream, there aren't any lions and tigers and bears, maybe. But am I going to have a dream about a bear next? I've already dreamed about lions and I've already dreamed about tigers. If I see a bear in a dream, because at least, like cats, when they're hungry, they're, when they're in hunter mode, when they're in predator mode, they can be scary. But if they're just like, cuddly, if they're in like the cuddly mode, then that's another thing. Is that emotional freedom? It is. Maybe that's what that's about. You're not out of the woods yet, Dorothy. You face the lion and you face the tiger. Now it's time to face the bears. Now, if I see that kind of bear in my dream, then hey, that ain't a nightmare. Um, anyway, so wisdom, dreamscape, and emotional freedom. Oh, wisdom is number 44. I didn't even realize that. What was I talking about? I lost it. What was I talking about? How my body changed. Yeah. So because I was talking about how sloth is the only thing that I'm really struggling with now, right? It's less of a struggle now than it was in the past. But because the job I worked last summer, it was all you can eat, and I would get full after like a plate and a half, and I'm like, this is all I can eat. Why can't I eat more? I want to eat more. And so some days I would eat more, especially if the food was good, and I would regret it. And my body was like, yeah, we ain't doing this no more. The things that you used to do in the past, you got away with, that ain't happening no more. Not happening no more. I was like, what? Why? But like, the food is actually good. Why can't I stuff myself in peace? Why I gotta regret it like immediately now? And like, my body doesn't handle sugar the way it used to. I'm just like, my body doesn't handle like artificial spices the way it used to, like a flaming hot Cheeto type of spice. But like pepper jack, or like a chili pepper, like peppers, I can still do. But for some reason, whatever's in like the hot Cheetos or the Takis, I can't do that anymore. And I really liked hot Cheetos and Takis because I love spice. But I make do with putting red chili pepper flakes in like everything. Um, and I got my little pepper jack cheese sticks. Um, but yeah, so I guess things have changed in a way. Um, but I've noticed that whenever I come out of that sloth mode, I get really, really hungry. And it's like, I don't know if it's like my solar plexus activating and turning on for the first time in my life, or for some of the first times in my life. But it's like whenever my desire to do a lot, whenever my thirst for life really kicks in, it's like, I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to experience this. And I'm ready to go and I'm ready to do something. And especially if I'm in that mode for longer than like 10 minutes consistently, like really in it, I start to get really, really, really hungry. And at first I was like, why does this happen? After like the second or third time, I was like, maybe there's a correlation between the two. Because the solar plexus is kind of sort of like the battery, right? It's what gets us to act. It's what gets us to move. And it's the solar plexus, it's linked to the stomach area. And it fuels our sense of sustenance, right? So um, that's like the food we put into our bodies, the substances we put into our bodies, spiritual sustenance, physical sustenance, and mental emotional sustenance. It rules all of that. And so it's like you can get hungry in more than one way. And my body definitely does now. Um, so maybe that's like some spiritual more so than whatever. I don't know. Anyway. Okay. We're going to do this side and that side. I'm not going to make this too much longer. Oh, I'm actually going to timestamp this now while I have this up. So then I don't have to do it later. I don't have to rewatch this and try to timestamp it. I don't know why that just came to my mind. I'm going to say 124. 15. Why not? Okay. So I'm going to cut this into 3 piles. These are not even piles at all. But I'm going to put these over here. And so there are going to be 3 rounds of this side, that side. That side is going to be the Pride Tarot. This side is going to be the Witch's Tarot. The Witch's Pride. I saw this shirt that was so cute. I know I already talked about it, but I wanted to buy it for somebody so bad. I was like, I want to buy this. It was like a Mother's Day themed shirt. So it was kind of like, I want to buy this for your mother so she can wear it, talking about you. It was so cute. As soon as I saw it, it immediately reminded me of somebody. And I'm like, I should have got it anyway. Right? But I didn't know. One, two. Oh my gosh, these stacks are tiny. This is the whole deck. This the whole deck. Only need 3 cards out of each, so I guess that's fine. So how this works is I pull 3 cards face down. I guess I don't need to shuffle these up anymore. I'm going to pull 3 cards face down from each stack. And then I will compare, and then I'll put 3 face down and then put 1 face up. And I'll compare the face up cards from each side. And the side that has the higher weighted card takes that, right? And then after I determine who takes it, I'll read the background for each side, and then we'll see if it forms a story, right? This could be you and somebody else and somebody else. This can be whatever and whatever. It's 2 sides because there's at least 2 sides. Some say there's 3 sides to every story: your side, their side, and then the truth. But there's at least 2. So hey, we're gonna, I don't know. And so how this works is, I believe aces are low, pages are high. 1 second. No. Aces and pages are high. And they are ranked the same. Then above that is the knight. And then kings and queens are ranked the same. All majors are ranked the same. And all majors beat minors. And that's pretty much it. So let's get into it. So let's see what this side has to offer. What is that? Ooh, the 5 of Wands. Okay, well, this side is dealing with something. And then let's see what this side is. That side is bringing to the table. That side combats your 5 of Wands with, what is that? The 8 of Swords? Why is this upside down? The Ace of Cups. Actually, both of these are all upright decks, by the way. Yeah, I had this upside down. Okay. We ain't doing reverses. Not with these. So the Ace of Cups, aces are high. Aces and pages are high. I guess I'm glad I clarified that. So the Ace of Cups is going to take it. But the other side is at the 5 of Wands. So we're going to look at the other side first to see if this is something that they should take, because you shouldn't go for anything if you don't actually want it. So we have the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords. King of Wands again. The King of Wands, I guess he's stalking me in this deck again. He used to stalk me in this deck a while ago. The King of Swords is like stalking me everywhere else. But here's the King of Wands. Maybe today is just his day. It's all about King of Wands today. And then this Nine of Cups. So now this King of Wands is seeing another 9. So, hey, maybe he's starting to recognize with the Ace of Swords, maybe he's starting to realize, hey, maybe I might the only one doing whatever. But if this is all this side, the Nine of Cups is a minor star, right? And I feel like with this Ace of Swords, I feel like the reason why the star didn't come out is because he's at this Five of Wands state. It's like there's this knowledge and awareness that he's accepting because he can no longer ignore it. And then there's this Nine of Cups of his desire. I feel like if this was the star, it would push him out of this Five of Swords or out of this Five of Wands state to maybe the Four of Wands or the Six of Wands, where he's ready to come. Well, it wouldn't be the four. And now it's raining outside. Um, it wouldn't be the four. I was going to go outside today. I can still sit on the porch. Petrichor is the smell of rain, or the smell of the earth when it rains, or the smell of the earth after rain. Petrichor. Petrichor. Petrichor, yeah, petrichor. Um, Fun trivia fact if anyone ever asks you, I guess. It also calls to mind Doctor Who. I love Doctor Who. But there's this one episode. So the Doctor Who has this time spaceship, has this ship that can travel through space and time, but it's kind of sort of biologically locked to him and then some other people who gain access to it, right? But he's like, if anything ever happens to me, this is how you access it. And he told her it was like petrichor something something something, and so she's saying it to the box, right? His time ship is a box. He's saying it to the time spaceship. He's saying it. She is saying it to the ship, like petrichor, this, that, right? And it's not opening. And the box projects this telepathic field since it travels through space and time. And the telepathic field of the box, it's like it automatically serves as like a translator. So you can speak and understand the language without needing to understand it because it's like the box, the ship does all the work for you. And so the box, the ship has this telepathic functionality. And if we're talking about some people, I'm gonna say who claim to speak telepathically or to communicate in higher dimensions. I believe it's some truth to that, but I'm gonna just say they claim. I'm gonna just say it. Why am I doing that? So for the folks who experience telepathic communication, right? There are things that you don't necessarily say with your words, and the ship telepates communicatively. The ship communicates telepathically. Gosh. Why am I like this? And I don't want to keep saying my Mercury is in Pisces in retrograde natally, so what? Like I know what I'm talking about. It just sounds like I don't. I'm over it. And so she's like, oh, the ship is telepathic. So instead of speaking petrichor, I'm going to project the feeling of petrichor. And she's like, well, how do I do that? And she's like, petrichor is the smell of the earth after the rain. So it's like she gets her mind to really like get into that sensation. Petrichor may have been like, it may have been the only thing. Maybe it wasn't. But she had to like do that because her being in that state of mind and her mentally herself being able to smell it is what that communication is all about, right? Because it's the difference between speaking something and thinking something and feeling something. And whenever it's like with telepathic communication, I guess, because I'm talking about it for whatever reason, your heart and your mind have to be aligned as you're trying to communicate something. And actually, I guess I kind of do have a story about that. I ain't got a tea bag in the water today, but I'm just gonna say, I was trying to telepathically communicate something to somebody because they were stumbling and I knew what they were looking for. So I was trying to push it at them. I was just like saying it. I'm like, it's this, this is the word you're looking for. And then something within me was like, say it with your heart. And I was like, what? And I was like, yeah, say it with your heart, or like think it with your heart. right? And I did it, and I'm not gonna say that I'm the reason why that person remembered or recalled the word that they were looking for, but they got the word, and I was like, it was interesting. It was interesting, but they got it, and it was like, say it with your heart, and so you have to put both of them into it, right, to be an effective communicator. Also, at the same, and that's, I guess it would be different than reading a mind. I don't know if mind readers are out there. Don't talk to me about that. I feel like I've had my mind read before, and that was interesting. Um, Now that's a level of telepathic communication that I'm not yet at, but somebody out there might be, and I'm just like, wow, astonished and amazed. Anyway, I need to wrap this up. So, um, but anyway, I don't know why this is, because it started raining, and so maybe this person's head and their heart are unaligned. Because see, here we have the head or the heart at the Nine of Cups, wanting and desiring this, and here we have the head at this Ace of Swords, right? And this is the King of Wands. Kings are fixed energy. And so it's like he's going to need more than just wanting something to convince him to go forward. And I think that's why he's at this Five of Wands state. And I think if the star was out, it would push him beyond that to where he's in the Six of Wands state in a mode where he feels he can go and claim victory to then get to that four, which is the minor wheel, right? Blah, 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 blah. On the other side, we have this Ace of Cups. So if this is a relationship, if this is the relationship pile, one person is at the Five of Wands, it's that King of Wands, who's gone through the transformation, who's done this and who's done that, and now, he's gone through this realization light bulb moment, like, I want this, but I'm still dealing with this. It's like, I want this, but I'm still dealing with this. Again, the King of Wands was between the devil and the Hierophant. Behind this person, or behind this side, we have, they're all in reverse. The Queen of Wands. Can y'all read that? I want y'all to be able to read this without a shadow of a doubt. Queen of Wands. We have the Queen of Wands right here. Oh my gosh. The Six of Swords. Oh wow. I should make this the thumbnail. And what is this? And the Two of Pentacles. You can't even see this. If I hold it back, if I hold it closer, there you go. Two of Pentacles. Let me hold all these closer. There's the Six of Swords. Here's the Queen of Wands. But they're sitting at the Ace of Cups. So this, oh my gosh, that is so crazy. The Six of Wands, the King of the Six of. Oh no, I don't know why I thought the King was at the Six of Swords. Never mind. The King is at the Ace of Swords. The Queen is at the Six. She's sitting at the Ace of Cups. He's sitting at the Five of Wands. The Queen was ready to move, right? That's why she's already at the Six of Swords. She was like already en route with that Six of Swords. And I think everything that she had to sort of balance and juggle, she was sort of doing it along the way, right? Because in this deck, this Two of Pentacles is not about a laborious sort of juggling. It's all about having fun, right? It's bringing an element of lightheartedness and joy and peace and stability to it. That's a more stable juggling. That's multitasking. She's multitasking instead of juggling. Um, but she's already moving, and Queen of Wands, but he's just now getting this realization. So if the realization is the ace, you have to go from the realization to the decision at the two, to cutting of the ties that leads to the heartbreak with the three, to accepting or healing past that cutting of the ties with the four, towards fighting your way out of anything that may sort of be in your way to reach the shoreline with the five, to then traveling with the six. She already did all that, and she on the move, and that's why she got the Ace of Cups. And also, so the Queen of Wands came out first. The King of Wands came out second. So maybe she already, in some ways, knew she was the queen, and that's why she's moving. Oh, snap. Hey, Casper. I didn't even see you. Um, and then he's like coming into that Ace of Swords realization, and then the King, and then this Nine of Cups. And so it's like he's wanting what she has. I mean, she's gonna take it because the ace beats the five. So that's pile number one. Hero fish. Oh snap! I like that. I want to change my name now. Let's see. How you doing today, Casper? Mozambique. Oh snap! What's Mozambique like these days? These days, as if I've ever been there. Are people like fairly chill? People freaking out right now? Lots of stuff going down in the world. What was this? It was this one. I don't want to mix these up. Don't mess with Supernatural. I mean, I don't necessarily mess with it, but I have a respect for it. And when you have a respect for it, you can operate within it respectfully. There's a whole bunch of stuff I won't mess with. I'm gonna be upfront and honest with that right now. There's a whole lot of stuff I ain't gonna mess with, and that's just because it's not for me. I'm not gonna say that there aren't any people who should mess with it because we're all different. We all have our own paths. We all have our own journeys, our own means and ways of going about things. Why do these keep falling over? They won't stay up. Somebody had that issue the other day. Heard of Jen. Awesome. Y'all chill AF out here. I'm glad to hear that y'all are chill because I know in some places people are freaking out right now. Do you mean like gens in general or like a person gen? Because if you're talking about like gens and like genies and stuff like that, those are among the ones I would mess with. But I've heard about them as far as like I don't want to say mythology, but as far as like mythology goes, yeah, I've heard of them. The ones you gotta watch out for. Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it, gens. You should have been more specific, gens. You should have told me that when you wanted this money, you didn't want it from somebody else's life insurance policy, gens. Gens in Islam. Oh no, I've never heard of that. I ain't heard of much in Islam. I think it's fairly safe for me to say I haven't heard of anything in Islam. So no. All right, I'm about to finish these last two and then get to work. I don't know if I'll still go outside. I'll still go outside. Some scary stuff. Oof. Well, I'm gonna just leave them alone. Cause oh, the moon card is at the bottom of this one. I'm gonna just leave them alone. Like I said, it's some stuff I don't even mess with. And all you gotta do is tell me that they scary. I'm from the US of A. Kind of from the heart, from the Midwest. Cornfields, soybean fields, nowhere that anybody in the world knows, nowhere that a lot of people in the US knows. One, two, three, four. Wow, there's that star card. And I was just saying, Six of Wands at the bottom of the deck, or at the bottom of this deck. That's interesting. Because I was just saying that. I was like, this ain't the star card. This ain't the star card. Well, here's the star card. Well, let's see what's on this side. The Empress. Ooh, so this is a tie. So I'm going to pull one more. The Wheel of Fortune. Well, look at that. Then he gets the Three of Wands. Okay. So the other side is going to take it again. Have a good one, Casper. North Dakota. I'm not quite as obscure as North Dakota, but oh, that's funny. Yeah, you have a good one too. Stay chill out there. Stay cool. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Stay as high vibe as you can, and as good as this, in as good of a state of mind as you can as well. Man, that was interesting for a second, but then the Empress came out with that Wheel of Fortune, and I was like, oh snap! Oh! This was the side of reflective truth when the Three of Wands came out, right? And now we have the Star card. So it's almost like someone wants it enough to go for it. But what? Let's see what's back in this. Oh, another ace. Page of Pentacles. Oh, there's the thunder. It's rolling in. Page of Pentacles. There we go. Ace of Wands. And the Four of Cups. Page of Pennies, Ace of Wands, Four of Cups. Where did the Three of Wands just go? The Three of Wands then tried to switch sides. Three of Wands is like, I'm going with that Wheel of Fortune. I'm like, you stay over here. You with the Star. So on this side, again, this is this side. On this side, we see someone who is ready and wanting to build something, ready to start their life, ready to begin to build their legacy, ready for maybe a commitment, right? Because Earth is very long lasting, long term energy, and we have a page here. Maybe not ready for the full blown commitment, but ready to begin working towards it. And one second, I'm like, whoa, where am I going with this? Oh, the Page of Pentacles. Because I was like, for some reason, I was like, oh, that's the Ace of Wands. That's four wands. That's four wands. See, I don't know if I like this though. So here's a little bit of a caveat for this side. We have this Page of Pentacles, someone who's wanting to build, someone who's very career focused, maybe right now, all about building the pinnacles. Maybe because they're like in a flow and they feel that they're coming up on their big break, right? But whenever you feel that, you don't necessarily know all of the moving pieces that are part of making that big break happen. And so maybe you don't want to necessarily neglect. You want to be careful in what you refuse and what you neglect right now. Because even if you feel that new start coming, part of that new start coming could be someone who comes into your life who's going to be a resource or a reference or who's going to have connections that you need, right? Part of that may be an opportunity that leads to another opportunity. Like you never know how that is going to actually come in. And so use your discernment and don't be hyper focused on the thing that you think is going to bring you that, because again, you never know which of these things is going to actually blow up. My shadow looks so big back there. I mean, it's because the light is literally right here, but anyway. um, and then we come into this Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Wands is making that happen. The Ace of Wands could be making that happen. The Ace of Wands is making it happen. But then we go into this Four of Cups. It's lonely at the top, is what just came to my mind. What's the purpose of having all of this or creating all of this if I don't have anyone to share it with? Um, who? It's not like who do I have to leave behind, but it's like, who have I left behind to see this come to pass. And the thing that I don't like about this is that this side is at the Ace of Wands, and they have the star, which is all. I love that you have the Page of Pentacles, the star, the Page of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands backing this star, because that's a recognition of this dream becoming a reality. And it's more than a recognition, because the Page of Pentacles brings the plan to make it happen. Like, I'm going to make this happen. I don't necessarily have it all lined out yet, but I'm going to make this happen. And then you have the desire to back it with that Ace of Wands. But the thing I don't like is that this Three of Wands is coming out with the Star card. And so it's like this person has one wand hoping for three more. I feel like it may work, at least in my mind, it reads a little better if you have three wands and you're hoping for one more. Because, like, if you're only bringing one wand to the table and someone else or something else, like some opportunity, right, has to bring all three of these wands, I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. But at the same time, like I said, you never know when one thing will lead to another. And so, and if you have the Ace of Wands, that's like the biggest wand, the most powerful wand in the deck. So that's not to say, that's not to discredit the Ace of Wands, because an Ace of Wands could hold more power than three wands. You got three nearly dead wands, three nearly depleted wands, and then you got one fresh one that is supercharged, right? So let's not talk about equivalency when it comes to numbers. First of all, that's a message to me, or maybe to you, or to us. But at the same time, it's like, again, it could be this chain reaction. And the thing about this Three of Wands is that he carries that ace with him wherever he goes, right? And so it's going to be important for you to keep this fire burning within you. Now, on the other side, we have this Empress and this Wheel of Fortune. Someone who is just pure creative, manifestive energy in general. And this wheel is about to turn. Maybe this could be speaking to her coming into her power and her ability to more actively and masterfully manifest things. I don't know why. Is it because the fan is on? Why these cards keep sliding off? Backing her is the Seven of Cups. Oh my gosh. The Ten of Wands. And this King of Wands. Seven of Cups, Ten of Wands, King of Wands. I guess I will not be able to escape the King of Wands. Well, the King of Wands has already come out in both decks, so he's not going to be in the third round unless he just manifests himself, which I guess I shouldn't put it past him. So now the King of Wands is sitting with this Empress because the way I put it down. And the wheel is turning for both of them when they come together. What I also want to note about this, though, she's backed by the Ten of Wands and the Seven of Cups. So the Ten of Wands speaks to her journey, speaks to her coming to accept herself and all of who she is. And the Seven of Cups maybe speaks to, in this deck, I believe it speaks to dreams. Yeah. In this deck, the Seven of Cups speaks to improbable dreams. The Ten of Cups is impossible dreams. The Seven of Cups is improbable dreams. This is her being that dreamy kid who would always zone out in class. I read the card entry. This was her, like, being that dreamy kid in class, and her teacher told her father, she has her head in the clouds, which is, she needs to be more realistic. She needs to do something that will actually go somewhere. And it was her dream to be an artist, right? Her dream to be a creative. And a lot of times we look at creatives, or a lot of times societally in the past, creatives has been seen as like, you're going to have to struggle. It's going to be hard. You're probably going to have to work like 2 or 3 other jobs to supplement your income while you're struggling and while it's hard. And then maybe after you pass, your art will blow up and you'll achieve fame long past your lifetime when you can't even really benefit from it. Right? But that's not her story. The Seven of Cups is saying this doesn't have to be my story. It's improbable dreams. And with that Ten of Wands, it may be an improbable dream that has been met with a lot of resistance, even more so than that improbable dream is being met with more resistance. But at the end of that Ten of Wands journey comes this realization of like, you know what? The one person that doesn't have to be in resistance to these improbable dreams, the most important person who could be a resistance and a blockage to the fruition of these improbable dreams is me. And I'm no longer going to stand in the way of my own dreams. That's at the end of the Ten of Wands journey, right? After you come out, because the Ten of Wands is closing one and it's opening another. That's a 10, it's a completion of a cycle to begin another. Right. It's kind of sort of like the 9 is the completion. The 10 is like more so stepping into that new cycle a lot of times. But it also speaks to the aftermath, dealing with the aftermath of closing that cycle. Ooh, aftermath. Tens are aftermath. It's aftermath. It's the after, right? Nine of Swords is you like staying up at night, racking your brain with anxiety. Ten of Swords is the aftermath. After you've decided to put that situation to bed, and now you're sort of cleaning up and dealing with the fallback. Nine of Cups is being in that space of like wanting fulfillment and wishing for fulfillment. And Nine of Cups, yeah, Ten of Cups is the aftermath. After you get that fulfillment, right? It's like addressing the 9 happens between the 9 and the 10, and then the 10 shows the aftermath. The aftermath is the fulfillment, it's the happiness. Yeah, you've done it. 9 of Pentacles, being solid within yourself, but wanting to integrate someone else into that foundation, wanting to expand your foundation. Aftermath, happy family, right? 9 of Wands, sort of like being at your wits' end, reaching the end of your rope when it comes to dealing with a burdensome situation. Aftermath, 10 of Wands. Okay, well, Ten of Wands is the aftermath side of the Ten of Wands is you like letting them go. Excuse me. The Ten of Swords and the Ten of Wands kind of sort of speak more to reaching that aftermath point and closing the cycle than actually being beyond that cycle and in the new one. It's like the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles speaks to you being in that new cycle, and the Ten of Wands and the Ten of Swords kind of speaks to you officially closing that cycle, right? Their most difficult parts. Anyway, that's the realization that she comes to after this Ten of Wands. I don't have to be in my own opposition. And so maybe this person who was a Queen of Wands last time integrates some of this King of Wands energy. And that's what really puts her in that Empress state and then gets this wheel turning. And if that's the case on this other side, that person may feel like they don't really have a space. Maybe that's why they're at the Four of Cups, because it's like they don't perceive a need for them. Like this person is the king and the queen themselves, and now they're sending out this Empress energy and they're making things happen. And like I'm also making things happen. Some of my dreams are also becoming a reality. I'm making to make those dreams my reality, but she's also become something that I dream of. And it doesn't seem like she really needs me. And that's what maybe keeping this person in this Four of Cups state, where everything else is great, but the Four of Cups is lingering on the back. But it's my personal philosophy that, one person shouldn't necessarily need another person. For me, it's all about like who I want to be with, not who I need in my life, who I think is going to make me like more successful. I mean, Six of Wands was at the bottom. Like you're going to be victorious in this. But it's like, who do I want there? Right? I mean, because I talk about, like if I find a dude who got some money, that'd be cute, that'd be real nice. I would love it. But at the same time, I'm not going to get with somebody just because they have money, right? I can make my own money. So if money is all you're offering me, that's not much, right? It's not. I don't need you for your money. Like right now, financially, on a more 3D level, I would say, oh, I need money because, I mean, honestly, right now I'm in a space where I'm not really wanting for anything. Everything I've wanted, pretty much I've gotten because, I mean, it just so happened to work out that way. At first, the timing seemed off and the timing seemed weird and things seemed real shaky, but When everything else, when everything else fell apart, my foundation came into place, and I was like solid and taken care of. So that's really interesting how that happened. It's like all of a sudden some sense of foundation wanted to rise from the depths and place itself beneath my feet. It's like, okay, you're stable, you're good for now. No, don't stop working towards whatever you're working towards, but we got you for now. You're good. Lots of windows of opportunity just like opening themselves. So the side is going to take it again. So far the this side or that side is going to take it again. So far this side is 0 for 2. Bottom of the deck over here again was that moon card. But again, it's like I feel like it's not a need thing, it's a want thing. It's not like, oh, this person doesn't need me, so they don't have space for me in their life because what do I offer them? You offer your presence, your company, your love, your heart, hopefully, your soul. It's like you're more than just what you can provide for someone financially. You're also what you provide for someone mentally and emotionally and physically. Sometimes people got physical needs too. And a physical need ain't always got to be related to some sort of like um, intimacy. Sometimes a physical need can just be company. It can be good company. Top of this is going to be the Magician. Oh my gosh, this side is popping. This side is doing things. We go from the Empress and the Wheel of Fortune to the Magician. Bottom of the deck over here is the King of Cups. We've seen the Queen of Wands, the King of Wands, and now the King of Cups are all on this side. This side got royalty. I mean, they got the Gosh darn Empress. So that side, I keep saying this side. That side got royalty in spades, stuff coming in, manifestation. Bottom of the deck over here is the Ten of Cups. So, hey. Oh, I almost turned that up right. It's like I forgot what I was doing for a second. Here we have the Two of Pentacles. We got the Two of Pentacles over here, and we got the Magician on the other side. So the other side is going to take it again. Again, man, this side just got dominated. It was close in that second round, but then that Empress whipped out the Wheel of Fortune, and that star was like, all I got is 3 wands. Like, and now this side is whipping out the Magician, like, oh, you want to see a shit manifest? You trying to manifest something? I'm going to show you how to manifest something. Magician. Ooh, that's a good side to be on. But we are all still with our challenges. None of us are without challenge, and none of us are without opportunity to grow. Ooh, we got a page. Oh, wow. So this side is at the Two of Pentacles, but this side is bringing the majors. We got this Page of Wands. So we go from that Ace of Wands. I feel like there's been this escalation of desire on this side. And I feel like with this Two of Pentacles, this is someone who, again, it's like that King of Wands was already fixed in the beginning. And it's like they have this knowledge and this awareness, and they had this Nine of Cups desire, but the Nine of Cups wasn't enough to douse the fire enough to get that king to turn his attention fully in that direction. Like it piqued his interest, but it wasn't enough to really catch and hold his attention. And then the star came out on his side. He was like, okay, I'm wanting that more now. Because I was like, if this was a star, maybe he would move. And then the star came out. But now it's like he has this vision of his future, like financially, with that Page of Pentacles and this desire with the Ace of Wands. But is it the desire to proceed financially, or is it the desire to go after this? Is it a this or that situation? Can it not be a both? And then he had the Four of Cups on the end, maybe not thinking it could be a both, right? But now he's sitting at this Two of Pentacles. And I feel like with this Two of Pentacles, it's like, okay, I can do both. And not only can I do both, it's not a this or situation. Maybe it was never a this or situation. Potentially, possibly, it was always this and. It was that future and this person. It was financial stability and fulfillment. It was desires that are backed by passion, but also backed by fulfillment again. I don't know what else to call it, but backed by the heart. And I think this is an and. I don't think this is a juggling either. This is a balance that he's going to be striking between the two. Because with this page of wands, he's ready to move in that direction. And the direction that he's pointing in, he's pointing towards that side. Like, I mean, I can't necessarily show you, but he's pointing towards that side. Like, and he's ready. Like, he's got his one, and he's ready to move over there. He's like, oh, watch out, I'm bringing the magic. And this person is like, you bringing the magic? Like, I'm the whole gosh darn magician. Like, hello? It's like, okay, I'm bringing a different brand of magic. Okay, I'm bringing the magic that you ain't got. That's complementary to your magic. I'm bringing the sun, baby. And then we got this justice. And this justice sort of confirms it's like, this isn't something juggling. This isn't a this or that. This is a this and that. This is a recognition that not only can you have both, you probably should have both because they're both going to work in a way that magnifies and amplifies whatever this is. I feel like if this is a two people thing, and if you've been in a space where someone else has been more of the expressive and emotive person in the situation, if you felt that you have more baggage and if you felt that you didn't necessarily stack up, or it's always been a this or that, it's like I could have my dreams or I could have this person. And I don't want to give up on my dreams. I don't want to give up on all the stuff I want to do. We've seen so much fire. We go from the King of Wands to the Ace of Wands to now the Page of Wands. There's a lot of desire and a lot of stuff that this person wants to do and experience, right? Fire is also about experience. Um, But with this sun and with the justice card, and the sun is facing the justice card, the page is facing the other side. Um, what was I going to say? If you're this person, you may, honestly, it almost feels like you may also be able to see something in the other person that they don't quite see themselves yet, or maybe that they're not fully utilizing or accepting yet. I remember what I was going to say. So with your hopes and with your dreams, if you are on this side, you may actually realize and recognize with this justice card that not only can you have, like I was saying, it's like not only can you do both, but maybe there's something that this person is able to do or something that this person brings to the table that is of value to you that will further you as well. And again, that's kind of sort of what I was feeling with that. It was the Ace of Wands and the other card before it. I don't remember now. The Page of Pentacles and that Ace of Wands, especially with that Three of Wands, like maybe this person is going to be someone who has a skill set that plays nicely with your skill set that will lead to what you want. Or maybe this person has connections or something like that, right? Now, on this side, again, we have this magician. And with this magician, let's see what's backing it on this side. We got any majors over here? Seven of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Three of Swords. We got that Fool card right there in the middle. Seven of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Three of Swords. Illustrated by Christy C. Rhodes. No, it's not Christy C. Rhodes. Who is it? Sabina Espinette or Espinay. I don't remember. I don't know how to pronounce it. I should have known Sabina. Um, there's something about this Fool card. We have the Fool and the Magician. But I'm looking at this right there. Something about this Fool is empty. And we have they have the wine right there. Where the other? Where's the sword and the pentacle and the cup? Oh, they have a dog. Why do I never notice the dog? I never notice the dog. Where's the sack? Everything this fool needs is already inside of them. Like that's a rainbow in there. If you can't tell, there you can see it. But it's like it's all inside of them, but they can't unlock it themselves. And here's this heartbreak with the Three of Swords. But maybe instead of heartbreak, It's like I was saying about all of the nines. It was like you can't. This nine of pentacles, this nine of cups, all of these nines, they could not be in queen energy before this happened because queen energy is that manifestive energy. And once this person enters queen energy, it takes off. And if it would have taken off before this came to be, if these are two people who are fated to meet, if she would have taken off before this came to be, the gap would have been too high and they would have been in completely different spaces. And that's not to say that, later, like much later in life, they wouldn't have eventually met and came together anyway. But there's something about them building this together that is part of some kind of divine plan. There's just something about the way that they work together. And it's like the more the King of Wands, the initial King of Wands, the more this side, or the closer that this side gets to approaching that side, is like the more her ability comes online. Because when that happens, things are going to take off. And that's why we have this magician here. But again, it's like before this person can really come into this, it's like there's something missing. Everything that they need is within, it's inside. But you see that boundary? It's like those threads that keep it stitched in there. It's like they need to be cut with this Three of Swords. Those threads need to be cut to unleash whatever this is. And it's tied to their heart. It's like you can't start until this happens. And with the Seven of Pentacles, which is all about chakratic, I guess chakratic is a word. It's about chakratic alignment. It's about being at peace. It's about because this is a seven of, we've seen the Seven of Pentacles before, but this is a Seven of Pentacles again, because the first time we saw it, it's like, I'm going to give you this and this and that because I'm not going to be able to tend to you for a while, and I want to make sure my crop isn't going to die while I go on vacation, right? I ain't got nobody who can watch the farm, but I got the sprinkler set up. The sun is supposed to be right. I put down some extra fertilizer just in case, and so they're going to get everything that they need. But this is like, everything that I need is already inside of me. It's already prepared. It's already aligned. It's just awaiting activation. And there's something about this, because then again, we have the King of Cups at the bottom of the deck over here, right? So maybe this is the other person. Maybe somebody need to be this King of Cups that come in, because the King of Cups is also a ship. You see the ship on his crown? But it's like something about this other side activates it. They activate it. And so that's why it's like, she doesn't necessarily need you for this and she doesn't need you for that, but you activate her in a way that gets her operating at her next level. I'm going to shuffle these up and I'm going to give a final message before I leave. The High Priestess and the Wheel of Fortune at the cut. Y'all can't see that, but there it is. There you go. High Priestess and the Wheel of Fortune. I don't even know if you can read it, but oh well. I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna get to work. It's already 12. It's not 12:30 yet, so I'm not too far behind. I still got a whole day of productivity, and I don't feel tired. I didn't sleep too much, but I'm feeling good. Final message from the Pride Tarot, please. That's a whole bunch, but the star came out at the top, so I gotta take it. Bottom of the deck is the Lovers. Lovers. I love, don't you? That It's Good to Be in Love is a song by Imogen Heap. Or is it for free? But it just popped into my head. I ain't even gonna try. Maybe I am tired. Oh, I just tried that and it took all the strength out of my body. I was like, nah. So we have the Star card and the Chariot at the top. Somebody is ready to claim their dreams. Is this another mermaid? There's like low-key this aquatic theme that runs within a few cards in this deck, and I love it. The Star and the Chariot, someone is ready to close in on their dreams. Are they ready for their dreams to close in on them? Honestly, if I'm speaking from personal experience, there's a lot of stuff that I'm still like nervous about. and I'm kind of sort of afraid of. But at the same time, I'm not going to allow that nervousness or that fear to stop me. So I'm chariot ready. As soon as the driver pull up, I'm ready to go. But I mean, there is still some hesitation there for sure. Oh my gosh, another major. Wow. Four out of five of these cards are majors. And this isn't a this side or that side. This is just a general, right? So we have the star and the chariot. Either someone ready to move in on what they wish. I feel like it's a lot of people ready to move in on their heart's desires and ready to see them manifest. Then we come into this messenger, the Hierophant. And I feel like with the Hierophant coming in after this chariot, is that the seven? No, that's the five and the seven. Yeah. I feel like, well, the six was at the bottom of the deck. I feel like since this is coming, excuse me, since this is coming after the star and that chariot, I feel like that's going to be fulfillment on every level through this commitment, because it is commitment. But the Hierophant also speaks to multiple levels of our experience. It speaks to the personal sort of physical, it speaks to the physical plane, the mental astral plane, as well as the institutional plane, right? The institutional plane being more so the body where that marriage is certified and stuff like that. The mental astral plane is like the mental, emotional, spiritual plane, and then the physical plane is actually down here on the 3D, right? But this is speaking to fulfillment in all levels. Coming after that is this Nine of Pentacles. And so I feel like this is a fulfillment again that doesn't take away from the self. With the Nine of Pentacles coming after this, I feel like this isn't in opposition. Well, the Hermit is coming after this. So there's the Hermit card. So maybe this is somebody, I mean, this is a whole spectrum, right? We go from the star with the chariot to the Hierophant, Nine of Pentacles, and then the Hermit. So maybe this is a spectrum. But again, I guess with that Nine of Pentacles, I'm feeling like there's no need to sacrifice yourself. Like you're not going to lose any of yourself in this situation, because if this is speaking to everything that this side and that side was, to a partnership that is more truly a partnership, it's like if you value this person for who they are and what they uniquely and individually offer you, and it's like they could be caring and they could be nurturing and loving and kind, but also if they have a skill set that appeals to you, if they have this ability to interact with your creativity, to elevate your creativity, but then to sort of like, you elevate each other, then that dynamic by its nature thrives when you thrive in your individuality, right? When you two come together to be this greater whole, you're a greater whole because you two are you individually. And individually, you make this better, but the better is based in your individuality. And so, if you're afraid that you're going to have to sacrifice pieces of yourself, if that's what this hermit is about, I would say that is not necessarily grounded, because you need to be all of who you are to make this thing really work and really pop. But also, I feel like there's also an understanding of that. And so this hermit could be like, okay, well, I don't feel like I'm my best self right now. And if I'm not my best me, then I'm going to be holding and dragging this connection back. And like low key, fun fact, no one is their best self, because our best self is our better selves, right? The best self that we see, that's like our best case scenario. But as we get closer to that best self, we realize it was a better self, because there's always room for improvement. There's always room for growth, right? And that is what that is. Ooh, so I've already crossed the 2 hour mark. Oh goodness. Well, these next 4 days are going to be longer videos, right? Because I'm doing my pet soaking and I'm dumping, and so I'm going to do the daily thing, and then I'm going to go into whatever else I feel like. Um, and so the daily thing is going to be the Oracle card with the Witch's Tarot clarifiers, and I guess I'm going to read an entry from my reading journal. Um, but now I'm going to get a final message from this deck. And then I'm gonna call this it, and I'm gonna go get something to eat. I kind of wanted a pizza yesterday. I'm trying to give myself a few days before I get like, because I was wanting McDonald's. I'm like, I just came off of a sugar binge that lasted for a few days. I just finished my last donut stick like the day before yesterday. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll give my body a little bit more time because I don't want it to be upset with me because it will be. Uh, Body's like, how about you go eat a carrot? Or I could fry the rice and put the carrots in it. That was really good. I'm sort of out of my fried rice kick, but I was in a fried rice kick hardcore. I was putting everything in that rice. Oof, it was so good though. I couldn't stop, and I was getting better. And I was like, I wish I could follow a recipe because honestly, I'm just like going with it. But I mean, I have enough cooking placements in my chart where that's acceptable. But I also have a lot of like meticulous placements in my chart, like heavy Saturn. Um, okay, Page of Swords. Bottom of the deck is the World card. I'm getting very heavy vision of the future vibes with that. Vision of the future that I can have with you is what came to my mind. And I guess this is kind of the this side, but again, it's not the this side. It's the world that we could build together and the world that I don't want to live in without you. But I feel like since this is a page, it's like either someone doesn't know how this truth will be received or they feel like they can't yet put the truth into words. That there's almost this energy of like, I wouldn't say this elegantly enough, and so I'm not going to say anything because when I come in, I want it to be just right. I want it to be perfect because I got a lot of explaining to do. And I just want to, at least be able to be cohesive. Maybe somebody doesn't want to be a weepy, sobby mess. Oh, wow. Well, the Wheel of Fortune and the Queen of Pentacles are at the bottom of the deck. They're both upright because I'm going to shuffle this way, right? The Wheel of Fortune and the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So they definitely see it. And that's the will of the year. I think they want this to happen this year. Why not today? Why not now? Ooh, Queen of Pentacles with the Ace of Cups. Why not today? Why not now? Drop everything you're doing and do it now. Maybe not. But like I said, like sometimes the best way out of your head is just to run out of the door. It's like when it's dark outside and you got to take out the trash and you just run, right? It's like you're not gonna, if the trash got to go out and it's dark, you just got to run for it. Justice with that Ace of Cups. Justice with that Ace of Cups. I know it's scary and it can be hard, but sometimes you just gotta go for it. Because like I said, mentally, some conversations never mentally change or evolve. Your anxiety and your worry and your fear is going to always be there. And there are some things that we never quite feel, I'll take them, we never quite feel ready for because it's a leap, because it's the next step in our evolution. And then there's the King of Cups again right there. King of Cups was like, oh, I wasn't seen in the other deck. I want to be seen in the other deck. It's like, okay, so we've seen the King of Pentacles first, and then the King of Pentacles transformed into that King of Wands. And now we're seeing the King of Cups. And like I said, I've been being stalked by the King of Swords, and so maybe someone is in the final leg of their journey. The King of Cups can be about expressing those emotions because kings are expressive, right? Two of Swords, Five of Cups, Six of Wands, and then the Fool. The Fool is the last one. And then there's the Dog. The Dog was a little older or a little bigger in the other card. And with the Dog being a little bigger, I think, like on the Empress side again, the last time, that was about, since the Dog was bigger, the Dog is about loyalty. It symbolizes commitment, right? This isn't necessarily a commitment to someone else. This is more of a commitment to the self and pursuing what it is that you fully desire wholeheartedly. And it's not that you're never going to be afraid. It's not that you're never going to be anxious or worried ever again, but it's like you're going to be committed enough to seeing these things through that the worry and the fear and the anxiety won't hold you back. And this may be something that this person is learning to do for the very first time because, again, that dog is like a puppy. That dog is a puppy. It's so cute. Dogs also speak to Dahlia, one of the embodiments of fate. And so this was a fated journey. And again, last time I saw the fool yesterday, it was like you've completed these karmic cycles and the divine has plopped you at the edge of that. So I don't feel this fool is like about to take the leap. I feel this fool is about to begin the journey because look at the direction the dog is going in. And the dog leads the hunter, right? So the dog isn't the dog ain't jumping off the cliff, so you ain't gotta jump off the cliff either, but this is a new beginning. This is a higher cycle. This is a brand new start. And so when you come into this new start, I feel like a lot of it's like almost like because I said like this may be someone who's weepy and cryy, right? I feel like a lot of this, maybe if you're going to be asking for forgiveness, I feel like a lot of that forgiveness is going to be self forgiveness. I feel like a lot of what you're seeking is like, because again, this Page of Swords now knows the world that it wants to see with this person, or the world it wants to build with that person, or the world that it doesn't want to be in without that person, potentially. Maybe I'm being too much of a Pisces romantic. Maybe not. But I think a lot of that hurt, a lot of that pain, a lot of that forgiveness, it's like that person is projecting it onto the other person. But a lot of that hurt and a lot of that pain and a lot of that forgiveness needs to be directed at self from self. I feel like someone is hurting more over maybe how they treated someone else or how the situation ended. Because with like to a sword's blindfold, I feel like it's something that they felt at the time, but they didn't give their feelings too much weight. They didn't give it too much credence because this person could be like, I felt stuff like this in the past and I got 3 spilled cups back there. I felt this before. I need something I can see. Oh, I just, okay. I was like, I need something I can see. I'm going to break my glasses. Oh my gosh. I need something I can see. It ain't just about feelings no more. But now this person is like, oh crap, maybe the blindfold is off. And they're like, to continue or to not speak this truth, to not progress forward would be to keep me stuck because this is something I'm never going to get off of my mind. Um, but at the same time, I feel like they've already been doing this healing because again, this fool is coming down off of a karmic cycle, and to move forward from a karmic cycle, you need to do all of the healing that closes those chapters. But it's almost like I don't think that there's any like heavy karma in this situation. But on this person's side, it's almost like the way things, and I guess this is a this person or that person. It could be both people, right? I feel like it's not purely this person or purely that person. I feel like they're both in this energy, and one may be more in this energy than the other person, but it's running through both of their minds. Um, but I feel like there isn't really any necessarily like there isn't any heavy karma in this situation. But a lot of the karma in this situation is how things ended. And so the only way to close that chapter is to come in and to allow that mending to happen, right? Through conversation and through perspective and through seeing things from each other's sides. Um, I feel like there may also be a little bit of a recognition of the other side already, but that still isn't a substitute for like hearing it from that person. But yeah, I think a lot of this is like these people need to forgive themselves because they may be seeking some kind of like I don't know, because I had this experience in my life a long time ago of I had a close friend who things got complicated with. And towards the end, I was so far in my own mind, I would like confide in my friends about the situation, not knowing that my friends knew who this person was. And I felt so bad. Cause like I was like, How do these people know you? I've never heard you talk about them. I've never heard them talk about you. Some of these people had like history with this person. I'm like, oh my gosh. This was not my intention. I was just trying to get some advice from my friend, and I felt so bad because I'm basically telling his business when he didn't want his business to be told. But I'm thinking I'm confiding in a friend, and they're like, oh, well, who is it? And I'm like, oh, it's this person. You probably don't know him. And they're like, oh, him? Like, really? I would have never thought. And I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I'm the worst. I'm the worst. That was one of my biggest regrets for a very, very, very long time. And I regretted it even more because he never held it against me, because he never took it out on me. He was never visibly upset, and he never pulled his, like, I don't want to say affection, but on his side, it's like it never affected our friendship because we were friends first. On his side, it's like it never affected our friendship. And that bothered me even more because here I am feeling like I've betrayed the one person who I confided in the most. Wow. I'm actually just now realizing it. I guess so. I'm kind of a rock a little bit. A lot of things that I'm going through actively, I don't like to talk about it. If I'm talking about something, it's probably because I've already processed it. But when it's raw, I don't really like to talk to anybody about it. But he's one of the people in my life that, like, I could experience raw emotion with. And I don't trust like anybody with that. And it takes me a long time to get to trust somebody with that. Or sometimes it's not a matter of time. Sometimes it's like a matter of a vibe and it's a matter of a feeling. Because I have another friend. His birthday is today, so happy birthday. 30 is 30 is 30, girl. I still got a few more years till it hit me. But I know what it means for some folks. 30 comes for all of us. And a lot of us, 30 is a memory. So it's not the end of the world. But happy birthday. She's a Taurus. And she's like the second person I've met. She's a he, he's a guy. But the second person I've met that I would confide in. But a lot of times with him, again, it wasn't stuff that I was like, I could be more raw in those situations, but I wasn't completely raw with him. Um, there was a point where maybe I would have wanted to be, but that's not a relationship. That's not a relationship. She's cool, people. Love her. Love her so much because she's been like a rock in my life. Like, I wouldn't take anything to her raw necessarily. I keep saying her because she's my sister. He's my sister. um, but it's like for the things that I was really struggling with, whenever things came to be too much, he was solid. He's always solid. He's part of the reason why I did as well as I did last semester. He's like, you're going to meet with me every single week because I know how you can be. And I know that if you tell me that you're going to do this, you might not even do it. And I was like, wow, it almost sounds like you don't trust me. He's like, it's not that I don't trust you. I'm just trying to, help hold you accountable. And all the time I'd be like, you think you know me. You think you know me. He does. He knows me. Um, and I feel like it's interesting though, because he knows a lot of my shadow. He knows a lot of the ways that I sabotage myself, but I feel like he's never really gotten to see me in my life. Like he knows that it's there and he knows what I'm capable of because I had a really good semester where I was on top of everything. On top of everything. I only missed one class. I had perfect attendance in all of my classes except for one because I slept a little bit late that day. I have never in my life had perfect attendance before that or since. But that semester, I had a goal, I had a vision, I had a dream. I wanted to be an RA. And to be an RA, I had to make grades. And so that was my best semester because I had something to aim for. When I have a vision, when I have a goal, I can be extremely determined and I can get stuff done. But if I don't have that goal, it's like my motivation falls apart and I sort of like Instead of being like a charging bull, I'm like a cow just grazing in the field, right? Anyway, he's the second person. But the first person who I can be like completely raw with because he was there for a very, very, very difficult time of my life. And, he was also there. So maybe that's another reason why I felt more comfortable because it's like, sometimes in those moments, if you can be that close to somebody, then, you can be that close with somebody. Um, but it never affected our friendship on his side. And he never got upset with me visibly. And it made me feel really bad. And I felt like my betrayal was made even worse because he wouldn't get upset with me. I'm like, I need you to be upset with me because. And so, since he never did that, subconsciously, I kind of sort of carried that as one of the things that I regret the most in my life for a very long time. It affected me for a very long time. And it's not to say that it's something that I don't regret doing now because I still regret it, but it doesn't have that same weight on me as it does now because I found self forgiveness. It's like I needed him to be upset with me before he forgave me. And since he didn't do that, it caused a whole bunch of stuff within me. It's like, okay, so then that's what was like, okay, so this is all about you accepting your actions and coming to terms with that more so than it is like somebody else. And I feel like that's very this energy that I'm getting with this Five of Cups and this Two of Swords. I feel like you may be projecting some of that hurt and some of that pain and some of that betrayal onto this other person. And it's not to say that they weren't hurt or betrayed at all, but I feel like you're also upset with yourself for doing it and it's compounding what you think they feel, right? But ultimately, at the end of the day, you are going to triumph over your hurt feelings, over your anxieties, over your worries. You're going to make this decision and you're going to be this fool. I mean, we saw the fool on the other side already. So if you a fool, they probably a fool too. Hey, we foolish together. We're building something brand new. Come on, cut yourself some slack, man. King of Cups is at the bottom of the deck, right? And that's where I'm going to end this. I hope everyone has a good whatever whenever you see this. Thank you, Lena and Casper, for coming in and chatting with me. That was interesting. Um, I know I'm not necessarily the most interactive because sometimes it's like I know I already go on for long enough, and I'm like, if I interact too much, this is going to be even longer. And then it's like, okay, well, why don't you do this pre-recorded? It's like I ain't pre-recording nothing until I get stuff figured out. Because when I pre-record, it's like more work I got to do on the back end. And if I do this, it uploads whenever it uploads, and then I'm done. All right, so I'm gonna shut this down, and I hope again you'll have a good whatever whenever. And I'm gonna officially get my day started, even though I'm like at least 3 hours into it.